Do I regret leaving the UK? Absolutely not. Left the UK in 2024, and I do not think you should move to the UK in 2025 or 2026. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Giftogu. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber who moved from England, United Kingdom to Alberta, Canada. And this time coming across my face and my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. I make videos about lifestyle, travel, freelancing, and everything in between. So if you're interested in leveling up your life in 2025 and beyond, this is the video. This is the channel for you. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys why I left the UK in 2024 and why you should not move to the UK in 2025, 2026, and beyond. I don't know if anybody has been following the immigration news. Like, I usually follow the UK closely because I have friends and loved ones there, and like I said, I also lived in the UK, so I like to know what's going on in the country, what's new. You know, I like to stay informed about the happenings in the country. I really loved living in the UK. I loved my time there. I got a master's degree from the UK, which I paid £14,000 for only my master's degree. And yeah, I met really amazing people in the UK. However, I knew that I didn't want to stay here for this reason. Some of the people in the UK actually think that when people, especially people that immigrate to the UK as students or people that immigrate to the UK as work visa, on work visas, they think that they are there for free, collecting government benefits, collecting this, collecting that. This is why I like to clarify every chance that I get. I always mention that I studied in the UK for a master's degree, and my master's degree cost me £14,000 for my school fees. What a whole lot of natives do not understand is new immigrants or students in the UK do not even pay what the natives or what the citizens or the natives basically are paying. They pay way more than that. They pay international students school fees. I saw a comment on TikTok, I think that was last week, where a lady was saying, oh, like new immigrants are coming to study in the UK for free. Study what? In where for free? Education in the UK is so expensive. And when you see an international student that is studying in the UK, they most likely paid for it out of pocket in full. We do not take out loans to pay for this. When you see a student in the UK, when you see an international student in the UK, they paid out of pocket for that education. They did, like, it's out of pocket. It's out of pocket. They paid from their pockets. They paid everything in full. There's no, oh, come today, we'll take loan from the government. There's no loan. There's no such loan. We don't have that. So we have this amount of money in cash. So this mentality that, oh, immigrants are coming, they're learning for free, they are coming to our schools for free. No. Even the NHS that they use when they come to the UK, they pay for it. Nothing is free for immigrants. Immigrants don't have access to benefits, universal credit, free education, except maybe their children in the UK. Maybe when they have children, in the UK, when they come with their children, maybe their children go to school, have their primary education and maybe secondary education for free. But that's about that. When it has to do with university education, and you see an international student there, the person paid out of pocket and paid way more than the native. So the mentality of, oh, they are coming to come and study for free does not make any sense. The second thing I also like to talk about here is the mentality of people saying, oh, we come and use the healthcare system for free. We pay for it. We pay for the NHS, a whole lot of money for the NHS, and most people do not even use it. My husband paid, I think he did, for the length of time that he actually stayed in the UK, and he paid a lot of money for his IHS fee to give him access to the NHS. He did not go to the hospital. He didn't use the healthcare system. He didn't use the healthcare system, but he paid for it. He did not use the healthcare system, but he paid for it. I went to the hospital maybe like once or twice. Well, like the amount of times that I've gone to the hospital in Canada is nothing to be compared to the amount of times I went to the hospital in the UK. I sparingly went to the hospital in the UK. But in Canada, I've been in an ER. I've been in the UK. I never even went to accident and emergencies. I've never been there before. I don't know what happens there. In Canada, I've been to the ER two times. And aside from that, I have the loveliest family doctor. I'm always at the clinic, back to back. But then, like, you know, most of them pay IHS and they pay their taxes and they don't even get to, they don't use it. So where's all this one coming from that they use what's it called? They get free education, they use this one for free, they collect our benefits. Immigrants are not entitled to benefits in the UK. They are not, and they don't have access to benefits. They are not entitled to benefits in the UK at all. They are not. Everything that they use, they pay for it. Even those on a work visa, that are there on a work visa, the length of time that they are on that work visa, they are not entitled to any type of benefit, no universal credit, no unemployment benefit, nothing. Next one is, oh, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our... No, they're not. I saw a video of, it was still on TikTok, where a guy was like, oh, immigrants are stealing our jobs. And he said he's an ex-convict. So he came from jail. And he went to jail for assault. And then nobody wants to hire you. And you're blaming immigrants. I don't understand. I don't follow. People need to make me understand this thing. I don't get it at all. Where do immigrants come in? Where do they come in this? Where do immigrants come in this? I really want to know. Because everything is like, oh, let's blame the immigrants, let's blame the immigrants. But you're not getting the job because I don't know whose fault is that. How is it the job of the immigrants? And then you see somebody that probably does not have a college education, and then there's a doctor from India or from Pakistan that's like a neurosurgeon, and then you're seeing that doctor stole your job. So if the doctor quits now, can you do that job? Do you have the education, the skills, the qualifications to do that job? Can you be that neurosurgeon? You probably did not even finish your GCSE. And then there's a nurse from the Philippines that was employed by the NHS to work. And then you're like, oh, she's stealing your job. Okay, if she quits now, can you do the job? I don't, like, we need to have these conversations. We need to talk about all of these things. Can you do the job? People always ask me, oh, you always mention that you spend 14. I would say I mention it. Because there's some people that are waking up and sleeping thinking that the education is free. It is not free. It is not free. No, it's not free, okay? It is not free. We paid for it in full. One of the main reasons that I left was the unstable policies when it has to do with immigration, okay? I didn't want to stay like, oh, what's happening today? I'm like, no. I just really wanted peace of mind, and yeah. So that was one of the reasons that I left. But like, I feel that we need to come out and continue to correct these notions that people have, saying, oh, you know, they're here going to school for free. They're here stealing our jobs. They're here using our benefit. They do not go to school for free. They do not use your benefit. They're not stealing your job. The NHS that they're using, they pay for it in full. In full. They pay for it in full. You pay for it when you're paying for your visa. Like... Do I regret leaving the UK? Absolutely not. Because the thing is, like, the laws are always changing. It doesn't matter how much you spend in the country, and no country, you're not entitled to permanency, residency anywhere. You're an international student. However, I remember, I don't know if it was 2020 or something, there was a video begging people to come. Like, yeah, there was actually a video of one of the officials saying people should, like, you know, come to the UK, come and study and all of that. Like, you can get your 2 years post-study after going to school, you can work. There was that video. That's why a whole lot of people decided to start moving there, because people were not even considering there for a while. And now, like, everything is just changing. Just wake up one day and you're just like the enemy, the bad person that is taking free benefits. Meanwhile, you're not even entitled to any benefits, and everything that you're using, you paid for it. Or the government is feeding you. Feeding who? Feeding who? Do I regret moving? No. Because even after paying the exorbitant amount of money when to study, chances of you not even getting a job in that field is very high, because of all, like, oh, visa, sponsorship visa, like, you know, some organizations will not want to sponsor you. And then sometimes you're left to do you're left to do healthcare. And when you even do the healthcare, they'll still come and like it's still they'll still come and see another thing. Oh, you need this, you need like this is not enough, this is like, they'll still try to look down on you, thinking that you're not doing enough. But meanwhile, you're caring for elderly people. It's like one of the most vulnerable jobs in the world, where you're caring for elderly people, just making sure that they are well cared for, they are clean, they are well fed, and all of that. And it's still a problem doing like the goalpost is just shifting up. It just the shifts. It's just shifting up and down. And then it's like, oh, yeah, they need to go. I want to quickly come and say that. They say, oh, they don't speak English. We don't. Who colonized Nigeria? Who colonized Nigeria? The UK. And then we speak English. And you say we're not speaking. I don't understand. I'm not following. And you say, oh, we're not speaking English. We don't speak the language. Meanwhile, we do. Meanwhile, that's the official language in the country. Because then I was hearing things like, oh, your English is so good. I don't understand. And then they'll be expecting me to say, oh, thank you so much. Thank you as. What language was I speaking from when I was born? I used to write that it's my native language. Yes, because primary school, nursery school, secondary school, university, workplaces, English. That's what we speak. In fact, it's so bad that when I was an undergraduate at the University of Nigeria, I wrote my project, my thesis on post-colonial mimicry. Yeah, I wrote my thesis on post-colonial mimicry and hybridity. I used Wale Soyinka as the lion and the jewel, and Kobina Seki's the blinkers. And what was I trying to talk about? Like, it's bad enough that we even speak English. Like, we speak English, it's our official language. But then, like, it's so bad that we're so colonized in Nigeria that most times you wear Western, like some people don't even like to wear their traditional clothes anymore. You wear only Western clothes. They feel that wearing traditional clothes is not enough. And some organizations like if you're carrying your natural hair as like a Nigerian, or it's just, you have to wear wigs. You have to speak with an accent. Most times if you want to get a job in the radio station in Nigeria, you don't get it because you don't have an accent. And whose fault is that? It's mimicry. It's mimicry. And then you're telling me, after all of these hurdles, you're telling me that we're not speaking English. I'm not understanding. I don't get it. I do not follow. What are we speaking? Because I know that I write good English and I speak good English. But then you're hearing, they don't even speak English. They don't, I don't understand. This whole thing is painful. What I'm trying to tell you, if you're a student thinking of where to go and pursue your education in 2026, 2025, that thought that you have, that place you're thinking you're going to, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea with all of these uncertainties going on, with everything happening. I don't know, but do you? Do you? I'm not even going to start to come to Canada because being an international student anywhere now is so difficult. Lots of things are changing. There are lots of policies up and down. So nowhere is safe. But whatever you want to do, that's fine. But will I advise anybody to come here with all of this? I don't know. Even coming here to work, what do you mean that you work for 10 years before getting residency? What do you think you work for 10 years before getting residency? I'm currently a permanent resident, and in 2027, I will be a citizen. I'm currently working in Canada and paying my taxes here. I now live here. This is my home now. So what do you mean that I have to work 10 years before I even get that in the UK? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea, but God help us. Okay, God help us. And if you're in the UK, I don't know, maybe UK, God is your strength. Don't think too much, because with everything going on the internet, especially the news, everything happening, there's a lot to think about. Okay, there's a lot to think about, but don't put it to mind. Okay, don't put it to mind. Don't think about it a lot. Everything will work out eventually. I hope everything works out eventually. Video where I mentioned why I decided to leave the UK and move to Canada. I'm going to link it here. I'm going to put it in the description box, and I'm going to put it in the end screen so you can go and watch that video if you want. But yeah, take care.